Hey everybody, it's Professor Stines, and today we're here to talk about Assignment 10. And kind of continuing with the PHP feel, we're going to kind of keep with the concept of orders and receipts. So, anyway, this week we're going to talk about arrays in PHP, and essentially what the assignment is asking you to do is make an array of arrays. And kind of what it's doing here is it's mapping kind of an index to each value, so that kind of when you come through and you look in the order statement, kind of flip through each order, you can kind of refer to it this way. And so you're kind of looking at a certain array and pulling out an index of a value. It's kind of like doing an object on the fly. And kind of really, when I opened up the assignment the first time I was reading it, and I was like, man, this would be so much easier if we just used an object instead of an array to make an object. But then as I was working through it, I kind of realized, well, that's what we're doing. But stage one is arrays in general, and then stage two would be probably creating an object in the future. So anyway, we're going to kind of get to it, and I already got my XAMPP up and running, and so I'm going to kind of come to my htdocs folder, go ahead and create something new for Stines Allen Assign 10. Kind of see I've already done it once. And I'm going to start by making me a PHP page. Open that up in Notepad++. And it's going to kind of start as a basic HTML page, so doc type HTML. Create a title section. And go ahead and put my meta char set equals 8. Seems like newer versions of the validator are definitely hitting hard on keeping the encoding good, so gonna kind of keep going with that. And got an opening and closing body tag. And it's kind of where I'm gonna get started. Is just go ahead and make sure I got my hello world statement and everything looks good. So that's when I did it the first time. But here we are at this time. At least we got something coming out of it. So you can kind of copy and paste this to get started, but I'm going to kind of rewrite it because it's just going to make a whole lot more sense if I do, really. So I'm kind of going to make my windows match so I can kind of look at them at the same time a little bit. And I'm going to change my indentation a little bit too. But so I'm going to make an order array, and it's going to be a PHP array. And I'm going to kind of start it like this. So this is my opening array and this is my closing array. Indentation is going to be very important here. So in each one is going to be an array. I'm going to kind of open it like that and close it. And essentially kind of what happens is it might actually be a little bit wrong, is there might be a missing statement. Oh, what's here? Never mind. A comma. That's kind of important. So comma array. And I'm just going to kind of create 3 for right now. Remember the last one, the comma is a separator between them, so the last one's not going to have one. So indentation, go ahead and indent these guys a little bit. And so I'm going to set a product index, or product lookup value, to iPad for this guy. He's going to have a quantity as well. That's 5. Oops, 5. Number type. And unit price. Discount rate. Order date of a string, 3/1/2015. First name. And a last name. Payment type. And a card number. 23412341234. Wait, yeah, 234. Wait, hold on, how many was that? 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. Alright. And so the last one is not going to have a comma after it. And it kind of ends with, that one there. Kind of see, when I highlight in here, I can kind of see the red and the red match. So I'm going to kind of make it easy and just kind of copy, paste these guys. Essentially, my arrays are pretty good. And so let's see right here. This is the end of array of arrays, where each array is kind of individual. So I used a lot more lines in mine, but I think it kind of helps kind of illustrate, we're kind of creating an object on the fly. So this is about when we're right about right here. So we're going to go for each the order array and call it order. And start with doing kind of what's in the thing there with echo out, just order, left bracket product. So hopefully now, if I look at it, I kind of get iPad 3 times, which is good. That means I'm kind of looping through my array and pulling out each one. So that's good. And so it's kind of going to be a little bit more like last week, is that we're going to kind of create a table, or echo out a row instead. So that would be, let's see, I'm going to define string HTML as a blank string. And we're going to want to create a row each time. Each time through the for loop, we're creating a row. And in that row is going to be table cell. And we're going to have, just kind of want to copy this guy right here. There we go. And, I could make it so that we put the table tag in here and the header rows in here, and we could, but I'm going to kind of do a different little strategy to show you, how you can mix HTML and PHP and kind of create something completely, So I'm going to put my closing table tag after the PHP block. And before the PHP block, I'm going to create my table tag. And this is kind of where I'm going to put my table headers. Kind of keeps them out of my PHP code and a little bit easier to see. And if I ever need to come back and maybe change this to English or something, or Spanish or something, some other language, it'd be kind of easy too. So that's kind of where I'm going to put it. Lots of ways to solve problems. Order date. Last name. Payment type. Okay. So hopefully now if I run it, one, I get kind of all my table headers out there, which is good. And then I kind of get my first row. So I kind of just need to kind of come back down into here and kind of go through and add new table cells for each of my types there. Start with products. You're going to get quantity and unit price, discount rates, order dates, first name, last name, payment type, and card number. So hopefully this time I have my whole table set up. So that's pretty cool. Now for you, I would suggest you gotta, in the assignment, it says to make 5, and I'm gonna say 5 different ones. I kind of did the shortcut method just to keep the video short, but I want to see 5, and they need to be different products each time. And then after the order table, we'll display current H date. And so I could just kind of do another PHP block and echo out the date. I think it's a year. I have to go check that out and make sure. Let's see if it works first. Nope, sure didn't. So I'm looking for the PHP date formats. Should be example down here. I guess it's supposed to be in figures. Should be in quotation marks. There we go. It's got the date out there. And 5 different ones. Display the current date. And the page should also include a header and footer file. So I'm going to kind of approach it this way, is that in web development, you had header sections, and in the header section you would have something like a product order, and you would also have kind of like a navigation section and some other kind of sections. In the footer, you're going to have copyrights, Professor Stines. Well, in web development, like I was saying, is that you kind of have this piece on every single page you make. So you could make like hundreds of pages on a website, and your header section is mostly going to be the same, and your footer section is mostly going to be the same. What did I do there? That's weird. Oops. But anyway, on different, a large website, your footer, your navigation, and your header section are kind of going to be mostly the same. Or maybe your navigation section is kind of driven off of some sort of database or something. What's one of the cool things about PHP and working in server is that you can kind of create these sections as different files. So if I create a header.php file and I'm going to edit it, could kind of just pull my header section out and stick it into this page like this. So if I do that, I'm not going to get it in my page, obviously. Well, hold on, I guess I got to save it. It was there because I didn't save it before, but now it's going to be gone. Well, I can kind of bring it back by using what's called a PHP include statement. So I'm going to include header PHP. And so in this way, I kind of get it back. It's kind of neat using include files. You can do a lot of things with them. So kind of come down to the footer and kind of going to do about the same thing with the footer. Just going to kind of copy that guy out and save it. Go and create a new section for PHP. Kind of paste it there. And so if I kind of save it, it won't be there. But if I come back to index, I just have to kind of PHP include that file back. Footer PHP. So it's pretty neat, and it's really powerful. If I'm looking at, most of you know, it kind of came from MGA's website, and it's a very large website. I mean, a few thousand pages at least. But the header is kind of the same on every single page, and the footer is kind of the same on every single page. Well, this kind of concept of a include is what kind of drives that and makes that possible. If for say I needed to come in and change, add in a new info for link, I don't know who we would put here, maybe community partners or something like that. I would only have to go to one file. And if I add that link to that one file, then every single page across the whole website, regardless of where I'm at, kind of gets that feeling. And, on MGA site is actually written in .NET, not PHP, but the concept is pretty similar, is that, sections of the page are reused. So the whole header section is reused, and the footer section is reused. The menus are a beast of entirely different sorts. It's kind of crazy, to be honest. We'll kind of get there, but more or less what it is every single page on the website is tied into an XML file, and left-hand menus across the entire website are based on that XML file. So there's a big giant XML file, academic departments is in it, and then it's kind of related. All these pages are related through it. If I kind of go to some pages, they don't have that left-hand menu, and it's a very particular left-hand menu that does that. But you've probably seen it when you're on other pages. You kind of see this one ties everything together for what's kind of considered to be the Office of Graduate Studies. And so what it kind of helped me do on the website is I could create websites of websites. I just kind of create a home page for something, and then the left-hand menu kind of drives the page, and it's a automatic thing, so I don't really have to worry about physically coming to every page in the plant services website to add the new link. It just kind of automatically gets generated. So long story short, a super amount of power can be had in the include files, and all I did was kind of copy out the header.php section, but technically I could kind of pull all of it and just have the include file at the top. And if I came to my header and put it here, my page is still going to work. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of a battle. It would be perfect to just kind of have every single page just refer to what's in a certain section. But if you kind of look at header, the title section of a page is going to be very particular to one individual page. So I can't, by doing this, I'm setting all pages on my website to this one particular title tag. So it's, something to consider, but it's also a good place where if you want to make sure the link statement to your CSS is kind of, in one place and can't be changed, you could kind of, restrict access to header PHP so other developers can't change it. They can only change certain parts of the page, but it's pretty neat the things that you can do. And Anyway, it's back to the assignment. I kind of got off on a tangent there, I guess. But anyway, it's going to make, if, like I said, you have problems keeping your menus straight in 3280, now you know a way that you can use the same menu on every single page, and so when you change a page or add a new page, you only have to change it once, and it affects everywhere. So it's really neat. Definitely should play around with this. Anyhow, its second half is kind of asking you to kind of copy this CSS that's here and apply it to your page. So that would be, let's see, in the way I kind of have it right now, just kind of come and make a style.css. And I guess I kind of already ripped it into my header file, but I guess I'll just go ahead and type it here. So that's oops, kind of paste that guy in there. Now I kind of use, these are saying that the table is going to have a class of grid table, so let's, and again, you could have put these in built it with the string, but I kind of choose not to this week. And it's kind of using IDs. I used the short tag of header, so I'm going to kind of just take the ID tags off. But I didn't use a div class equals main content, so I'm going to go back and do that. Let's see. The beach is kind of here. Oops. Something went wrong. Let's see. Header. And pound. I'm supposed to use I used class. Yep, so that kind of, oops. Did I spell grid table right? No, I didn't. Case sensitivity, let me tell you. There we go. That's a little better. I got my date, got my Professor Stines way down here at the bottom, product order. So, anyway, I think that pretty much covers the assignment. Anyway, hope this was helpful. Have a good one. Bye.